Hi, I'm Scott Shellady back in Chicago here on the CME Group floors for Traders Exclusive. And I think the biggest overriding issues that I've really been speaking about the last week and a half, maybe even two now. Obviously, October was a bloodbath. It started October 3rd when we had our all-time highs, and what was disconcerting was we couldn't hold them and actually rejected them big time, and the rest of the story has been written. Here's where I stand. Look, we've got a lot of folks that are talking about normalization, getting interest rates back to normal levels, right? And I'm all for that. I think that'll make the economy healthier. However, you can't have interest rates go back to normal levels and not have volatility go back to normal levels, right? With quantitative easing, we've really kicked volatility in the teeth. We just haven't had any release, right? Because there's always been that cash that's been sloshing around the system to try to keep interest rates low. That's found its way to the equity market. So volatility has really been a non-event. Well, not anymore, right? We're going to normalize interest rates. We're going to normalize volatility. That's one thing that I've been talking about. You can't just normalize one part of the equation. You got to normalize it all. A lot of folks forget about the fact that, you know what, there have been times when we've been very volatile back in the day before quantitative easing. Well, we're going to go back to those levels, so kind of strap yourself in, because actually normal volatility is kind of what we all want, right? Secondly, I can't not sit here and talk about the jobs numbers today. You know, for those in the States, for at least, that was like an offensive lineman jobs report to me, right? There's a lot of people saying we ripped the face off. It's fantastic. It's a shattering to the good. Yeah, it was all good, but I just think it was more so solid, like an offensive lineman, not flashy like the quarterback or running backs, but just a good old offensive lineman report, nice and solid. And I think, to the previous point, that's exactly what we're going to have month in and month out to really see if we can get out of this quantitative easing hangover unscathed, right? Because what we did 10 years ago after that initial crisis was something that's been unprecedented when we talk about what the Fed did buying bonds to keep interest rates low. So we did something we've never done before, so now we kind of got to get out of something we've never done before. But if we can keep having these slow, steady, nice, strong reports like we got today, I think it's going to let the government off the hook, at least here in the U.S. Now, at the end of the year, we're supposed to be stopping quantitative easing around the world, especially I'm looking at Europe for that one. I think Draghi's put himself in a corner because Europe's slowing down. And they're going to take away that punch bowl from that party? I don't know. He's painting himself in a corner. So I guess normalization, interest rates going back up, but we're going to have normalizing everything else, right? So keep that in mind. And at the same time, if we continue to have these nice, steady, strong reports, it'll help in that normalization process. That's how those two meet. So all in all, good report will help us normalize. But remember, going back to the way it used to be, there were some pretty hairy, scary days 20, 30, 40 years ago. So keep that in mind. I'm Scott Shellady here in Chicago for Traders Exclusive. Have a good weekend.